On today's episode,
we've got this monstrosity of a beautiful car.
he's got the Outcast working and
We've
he's
got the
happy.
Outcast. I'm happy. So, update.
It works!
New chassis. So the chassis that obviously comes
Sorry.
with the car.
Is that the chassis?
Chassis. Chassis.
What does it say in France? La chassis.
The plastic thing that's on the bottom. Alright, so I got sent a new one.
And there's no bottom jokes there.
Obviously, the original one was a Friday afternoon, get me out of your job.
And you had a crack across the front here under this back
I had a crack going diagonally straight up through the front diff housing.
Diagonally straight?
Diagonally through the diff housing. You said straight, I said diagonally through the diff housing. And obviously not great for your front diff. They sent me a new one.
You bought a bundle of parts in which there wasn't
I bought a lot of parts.
It wasn't gifted to you.
Well,
you were assisted.
Yeah, we were assisted. We won't go there. From the boys at Model Flight, thanks for your help.
From the distributors?
Yes, the Australian distributors. So, new chassis, I've now put this thing through more pain than what I put the last one through, and it hasn't cracked. Again, so we're away. Now, the other thing that I did...
So, the problems we had?
Problems I had was the chassis was cracked. Shocks were horrible because they kept popping out.
Yeah, there's the forest shocks.
And the A-arm broke, which I already knew, and the bearings.
Yep. Now, the A-arm was an issue derived by the chassis.
Well, yes and no. So the A-arms on these are weak, we all know that. So the first thing you're going to want to do is go out and get your RPM A-arms.
After your bearings.
After your bearings. Matt moved my bench. Alright, so get your bearings, then get your A-arms, because your A-arms will break. You want to replace your bearings first, because once they get the slightest amount of moisture in them, they seize.
Yep.
So, yep. Now, onto the shocks, or you would go something else?
No, that's fine.
Alright. So onto the shocks. So I was told by...
someone?
I was told by distributors, and I was told by hobby shops that the 6S shock shafts don't fit in the 4S shock body.
Yep.
Well, guess what? They do! Now, if you hit subscribe, you'll see that coming up. We'll show you how to make these, what I call the 5S, because I've kept my original 4S shock body, but I have a 6S shaft with the 6S rod ends, which aren't knurled, threaded.
Yeah, so the difference, as we addressed in your review last time, which was scathing, was that the 4S ends are knurled, and so once they pop out, you can't rebuild them. You're putting new ends on, but it still doesn't help because you've got probably Loctite on your knurled end. So it's
I did Loctite,
useless.
I did super glue, I did tie glue.
And so the threaded 6S shafts just make so much more sense.
They are a lot stronger. I've got the same stock springs. The only thing is the shaft, the rod ends. That's all you got to buy. That's it. Obviously the front is different length to the back. So I did the front and I noticed that the ride height was a bit different.
Taller or shorter?
It ended up being tall at the front end.
Yeah.
The difference in length is like a millimetre.
Negligible.
There's nothing to even go and cry about.
Yeah.
So I ended up doing the back. Once again, same springs. You'll see I've also got no of those, what do they call
Spaces.
Spaces on there as well. I've left that all stock. And now I actually have a car that I can call a decent stunt truck. So, yeah.
Yeah, certainly you seem much happier over the last week or so.
It lands better, it rides better, it drives better, it goes harder.
Now, if I remember right, the only difference between that you had to make was the plunger and
the plunger does fit, but you do have to drill that out, and that will obviously come up in a episode of our 4S shock hack.
Yep.
on how to make your truck better instead of spending a hell of a lot of money
4.5S.
on, we'll call it a 5.
Yeah. Rather than upgrading to the 6.
That's it, the 6. Now I have noticed there's a few companies coming out with upgraded parts now for these, like metal out shafts, which is awesome. I'm hanging for a metal drive shaft. Hopefully that's coming up from you lovely guys at GPM. That'll be really nice.
So who is it? It's not RPM, it's GPM.
Oh, this one's GPM, I think.
Yep.
And yeah, that's the weakest point I can see, because a little gun nut gets stuck in there and it wears it down and away we go.
Yep.
But once again, I've also had rocks and crap stuck in there this time around, and it hasn't gouged this drive shaft out compared to the original stock one. So I don't quite know what's going on there, but
You haven't used it as many times, but
I have had it out the front. I've had it down the park, plenty of rocks.
yeah.
When I launched off of the ramp, we just went out for a bash and we went video and launched it off of that, smacked into the next one, and it just kept going. And I thought, oh, I've broken it again. No, I haven't broken it, finally.
Yeah.
So
good.
Happier.
Easy.
Now, so that's it.
Easy. All right.
Happy with it. Obviously, some of the original stuff stays. Get rid of your remote, change your bearings, RPM arms.
That's a fair list of upgrades for a new car. That's for another day, isn't it?
Well,
Oh, and I suppose it's not that
it's
bad.
entry level. If you're a brand new to the hobby and you want to get a car, you would only need bearings.
Yeah.
And you'd be happy with the remote because you don't know any different.
Yeah.
So,
All right. Done?
happy days!
Like and subscribe. We're going to be on with the shock upgrade.
Surely. Oh,
Easy, isn't it?
it'll come up.
It'll happen.
I don't know what's going on here. I'll work it out. One day. I'll wait till it breaks, it'll be easy to fix. And find.
All right. Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you, Mother, for the rabbit.
Thank you, Mother, for the rabbit. No, it's yours.
It is. They're my rabbits. What did you say?
Will they keep coming apart?
Now, how many times have you reused those plugs?
Shut up, Daniel.
You just cracked me in the nuts with a rod.